My name is Ghost. This is the old wolf. He doesn't talk much, but he's never wrong. Let me tell you something that most prep channels skip over. You spent months building your stockpile, food, water, medications, gear. Your home is ready. And then the grid goes down. Day 3. Your neighbor hasn't eaten. He knows you have food, and he's not alone. Here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. When law enforcement is overwhelmed or simply not coming, the only thing standing between your family and that situation is you. Today we're talking about home defense, not in a scary way, not in a political way, just practically what actually works, what most people get wrong, and what you can do this week regardless of your budget or your age. This is part 1, 5 layers. Let's get into it. Let's be honest about what we're actually talking about here. Most of the time, a power outage, a bad storm, a supply chain disruption, your neighborhood stays pretty calm. People help each other. It's inconvenient, not dangerous. But as situations extend, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks, the dynamic shifts. Not everywhere. Not for everyone, but enough that you need to have thought about it before it happens. Here's what actually happens in documented crisis situations. Opportunistic crime goes up in the first 48 hours. Burglaries, not violent confrontations, people looking for easy targets, unlocked cars, homes that look empty, open garages. After 72 hours without power or food access, the profile of who is doing what starts to change. Desperation looks different than opportunity. The good news is this: most people looking for easy targets move on when a home looks difficult. They are not professionals. They are not determined. They want easy. Your job is to not look easy. That is the entire strategy. Make your home the wrong choice. And the old wolf is going to show you exactly how to do that, layer by layer. We're going to go through 5 layers today, and I want you to stay with us for layer 3 because it's the one that costs almost nothing, takes 20 minutes to set up, and is the single most effective thing you can do to make your home look like the wrong target. Most people have never thought of it. Keep watching. Layer 1. This is about what your home communicates before anyone even gets close. Think about this from the outside. You're walking down a street after 3 days without power. Every house is dark. Some have generators running. You can hear them, smell the exhaust. Some have lights visible through uncovered windows. Some have people coming and going with supplies. Those homes are broadcasting. They are saying, we have things worth taking. The first layer of home defense is operational security. What does your home communicate to someone walking by? Rule 1. Black out your windows at night if you are using any light source. A house that looks completely dark from outside is passed over. A house with a glow in the window is a signal. Heavy curtains, blankets over windows, anything that blocks interior light. Do it before you need to. Know which rooms you will actually use in a long-term situation and prepare those rooms now. Rule 2. Generator noise and exhaust is a beacon. If you run a generator, run it during daylight hours only when possible. At night, it tells everyone within 2 blocks that you have fuel and power. That is the opposite of what you want. If you must run it at night, keep it as far from the street as possible. Run it in short intervals. Rule 3. Be careful about what you carry into your home in the early stages of a crisis. Carrying obvious supplies in from your car in plain sight of the street tells the story you do not want to tell. Back of the garage, after dark if possible. Boxes, not open bags. The old wolf does not advertise. He moves quietly, and that alone removes him from most people's calculation. Layer 2. Physical barriers. Things that slow entry and buy you time. Here's what most people don't realize. A determined person can get through almost any door. That's not the point. The point is time. Every second of delay is a second for you to hear what's happening, get your family to a safe room, and decide what to do. Door reinforcement is the single most practical upgrade you can make. Standard door frames in almost every American home can be kicked in with one solid kick. Not because the door is weak, because the frame is weak. The screws holding your deadbolt strike plate are 3/4 of an inch long. 3 kicks and they pull out of the wood. The fix costs $12. Replace the short screws in your strike plate with 3-inch screws that go into the structural stud behind the frame. That one change makes a kick-in dramatically harder. Do every exterior door in your home this weekend. Second, door security bars. A simple bar that braces from the door handle to the floor costs $15 to $25. Cannot be defeated from outside. Takes 2 seconds to deploy. The old wolf keeps one at every exterior door. Third, sliding doors. The most vulnerable entry point in most homes. A cut piece of wooden dowel in the track costs $1. Prevents the door from being forced open even if the lock fails. Fourth, windows. First floor windows are the obvious secondary entry. A simple wooden dowel in the window track, same solution as the sliding door, prevents the window from being opened from outside even with the lock defeated. None of this is complicated. None of this is expensive. All of it buys you time. You've got layer 1 and layer 2. Your home communicates nothing worth targeting. Your doors and windows are significantly harder to breach. Layer 3 is where it gets interesting. This is the layer most people completely overlook, and it works whether you're dealing with an opportunistic burglar during a blackout or a more serious situation weeks in. It costs almost nothing. And the old wolf figured this out the hard way. Stay with us. Layer 3. Early warning. Knowing something is happening before it reaches your door. Think about what changes everything in a threatening situation. Time. If you know someone is approaching 30 seconds earlier, every decision you make from that point is better. Most people find out when someone is already at the door. That is too late. Here is what actually works. First, battery-powered motion sensor lights. Not connected to your home power. Battery-operated so they work when the grid is down. Place them at the rear and sides of your property. The approaches that are not the front door. When something moves, the light activates. You see it from inside. The person outside is now lit up and knows they triggered something. Most opportunistic people stop right there. That light changed their calculation completely. Cost, $20 to $40 for 2 solid units. Check the batteries monthly. Second, wireless perimeter alarms. Simple magnetic or infrared sensors that you place at the edges of your property. A gate, a side passage, the back fence line. When the perimeter is crossed, a small receiver inside your home beeps or vibrates. No subscription, no internet, no power grid required. Basic systems run $30 to $60. The old wolf keeps one covering the rear of his property. It has gone off twice in the last year. Both times he knew before anyone got close to the house. Third's pepper spray. Accessible, legal in all 50 states, effective at stopping a confrontation before it becomes physical. Keep one by the bed, one near the front door, one in the safe room. Here is what people get wrong about pepper spray. They buy it and put it somewhere. Then they forget where it is. Then they cannot find it in a stressful moment. One can. Specific place. Every person in the household knows exactly where it is and has held it at least once. That is the standard. Fourth, a fire extinguisher on every floor. And yes, this belongs in a home defense conversation for 2 reasons. Reason 1 is obvious. In a crisis where fire response is delayed or simply not coming, a fire that starts, accidentally or otherwise, and you have nothing to fight it with is a disaster inside a disaster. Reason 2 people don't talk about. A standard ABC powder extinguisher discharged at close range creates an immediate dense chemical cloud. It blinds, it chokes. It completely disorients anyone on the receiving end, faster and more effectively than most people expect. It is legal everywhere. It looks like household equipment and it works. Mount one in the kitchen, one near the bedroom, one in the garage. Check the pressure gauge every 3 months, $30. And it serves 2 purposes. Layer 4, the safe room. And before you picture some Hollywood bunker, this is much simpler than that. A safe room is just the room in your home where your family goes if something is happening. One room that is more defensible than the others. One room where you have everything you need to wait out a situation or call for help. You probably already have a candidate, master bedroom. Interior room with no exterior windows. Any room with a solid door. Here is what makes a room a real safe room. 1. A solid core door, not hollow. Most interior doors in American homes are hollow. You can punch through them. A solid core door costs $80 to $120 and takes 1 afternoon to install. This is the one room where that investment matters. 2. The same door reinforcement from layer 2. 3-inch screws in the strike plate, door security bar. From inside, that door becomes very difficult to breach quickly. 3. Communications. A charged phone, a battery bank, your ham radio if you have one. If something is happening, you need to be able to call for help and monitor what is going on outside. 4. A basic kit inside the room. Water for 24 hours. Flashlight with fresh batteries. First aid kit. Whatever medications your family needs daily. And your pepper spray. 5. Know the plan. Every person in your household should know. If there is a situation, we go to this room, we close the door. We do not open it until we hear this specific signal from each other. Drill it once. Not dramatically. Just walk through it once so it is not the first time in a real moment. The goal of the safe room is not to fight. It is to create distance and time while you figure out what is actually happening and what the right response is. I know what some of you are thinking right now. Ghost, this is a lot. I live in an apartment. I'm older. I can't do half of this. Layer 5 is for you. It works in any home, any situation, any age, any budget. And honestly, it might be more effective than everything else combined. 2 minutes. Stay with us. Layer 5. And this one surprises people every time. Your neighbors. I know, you didn't expect that. But hear me out. In every documented long-term crisis situation, the communities that did best were not the ones with the best individual preps. They were the ones where people knew each other and looked out for each other. One person watching a house is limited. 4 people watching 4 houses creates something much harder to penetrate. You become part of each other's early warning system. You share information. You present a presence that changes the calculation for anyone considering that block. This does not require politics. It does not require everyone to agree on anything. It requires one conversation with 2 or 3 neighbors before something happens. Hey, if things get difficult, let's agree to keep an eye out for each other. If you see something wrong at my place, knock. I'll do the same for you. That's it. That's the whole conversation. The old wolf does not believe in going it alone. He never has. The lone wolf in nature is the most vulnerable wolf. The pack survives. Know your neighbors, not all of them. 2 or 3. The ones you already trust a little, before you need to. That relationship, built before the crisis, is worth more than any lock or light or piece of gear, and it costs nothing. 5 layers. Let's go through them fast. Layer 1, operational security. Don't broadcast that you have things worth taking. Black out your windows. Generator discipline, quiet supply runs. Layer 2, slow them down. 3-inch screws in your strike plate, door security bar, wooden dowels and sliding doors and windows. $12, one afternoon. Layer 3, early warning. Battery motion lights, wireless perimeter alarm, pepper spray in a specific known place, fire extinguisher on every floor. Layer 4, safe room. 1 solid door. A plan your family has walked through once. Communications and basic supplies inside. Layer 5, your neighbors. 2 or 3 people, 1 conversation. Before you need it. None of this requires a firearm. None of this requires a big budget. All of it makes your home the wrong choice. The free checklist in the description covers all 5 layers with specific products and prices. Download it tonight. No email required. And if you want part 2, let us know in the comments. If enough of you want it, the old wolf will be back. The goal was never to turn your home into a fortress. The goal is simple. When someone is looking for an easy target, make sure that target is not you. You now have the 5 layers. You know what to do and in what order. 3 free downloads in the description. No email required. This is Ghost. Stay prepared.